most challenging part of running this company, it's not what you think. It's not raising money. It's not, building. It's honestly the most challenging part is finding the right people. One bad hire can send you a completely different direction. Sometimes for better, sometimes for worse, right? But the most challenging thing is definitely finding people who kind of see the world the same way that you do.
The most challenging part has probably been leveling up myself in terms of my EQ. So I started the company when I was 18 and obviously hadn't lived much of life and also didn't know how to deal with people who are much older from different backgrounds and with very different communication styles. So I just had to become a lot more empathetic. I've also had to think of personal health a lot. So in general, since I'm a software person, I hate thinking about hardware, and the body is hardware. So even with limited hours in the day, I actually force myself to take care of myself, my diet, my sleep. So that's been a surprising challenge.
If you ask me today what the biggest challenge is, I would say, I think being able to maintain a strong and vibrant culture in a company when it's growing so fast. We're now almost 500 employees globally, coming from a point where we were, 10 people, 20 people, and growing that fast in a short period of time puts strains on structures of the company, culture, how well, you work together, how you build synergy with different teams. Those things are particularly hard when you grow that fast.
The pandemic has definitely posed a lot of challenges. I think one of the biggest ones that everyone is facing is how do you create a really productive work culture and team? Some people do hybrid, we kind of dabbled with hybrid and remote, and it's tough because you want to find the best people wherever they are, but when you're creating a startup especially, not just an established company, you really need people eating lunch together, going to the water cooler together, having those late night whiteboarding sessions. So we've definitely tried to create as much of that as we can, but it never feels like enough.
I have many challenges on the way, but I would just say to everybody going and doubting themselves and not being sure, just find a fundamental set of values that you would apply and stick to them and believe in yourself. It doesn't always make sense. And I think for me it was definitely moving frequently in order to be able to achieve my career aspiration, right? A biotech industry, venture capital doesn't exist where I come from. So I had to make some of these hard decisions very early. But it was necessary for me to be able to become who I am and to have the opportunity to run this company and everything I've achieved until then. And in terms of the company, I would say that, I have to say everywhere I lived, the United States is a place where I felt most valued. I'm so lucky to call it home. However, even here, in today's day and age, I believe that often saying that you have a biotechnology company working in women's health, people were like, really? Why? Because we see a lot of consumerism, a lot of digital health, but we don't really have a lot of investments in biotechnology and pharmaceutical research for women. Women were not part of even clinical trials until a couple of decades ago. So I feel like showing that you can build a reputable business there that is in women's health, that is trying to be a biotech company, is a challenge that I hope will prove, because there are not too many companies working in this space, and I would love them to be more.
When it comes to being a business leader, there's a lot of decisions that you have to make that others may find weird or different when you're thinking about the community that you're serving and the mission that you're trying to do. For us at Ultra, we started by calling each one of our members to onboard them onto our app. And when we called them, it wasn't just a get onto the app, try it out. It was, who are you? Where are you from? What church do you go to? Really connecting with our members on a one-by-one basis to understand why they were coming to Ultra and what we could aim to do for them. And by talking to our members, we learned that very quickly. Working in consumer tech, especially finance, is very tricky. And the main word is regulations, compliance, and all the hows in this space on actually delivering a product. When you think about banks or fintechs or people that are trying to change the game in the finance world, you realize there's a million steps to take one step that you would take outside of the finance space. So although we're doing a public good for our members, the regulations, the compliance, and all the bureaucracy in this space makes it very difficult, it makes it capital intensive, and just makes it hard to move one step forward day by day.
The most challenging part of running the company so far is it's stretched me in ways I couldn't have imagined. I've had to learn a lot, and I've had to learn it very quickly, and sometimes while I'm doing it. It's that putting the airplane together while you're trying to fly it aspect. And I think that it's been an incredible experience for me, just because I've gotten to flex muscles I didn't know I had, and I've gotten to essentially build up an organization from the ground, which I never thought I would have the opportunity to do.